Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is May the 1st, 2022. It is the 13th, 14th, 15th day of Easter. It is the third Sunday of Easter. Coming to you this morning from Holy Cross Church in Durham, where we just celebrated confirmation for four of the parishioners here at Holy Cross. Just finishing up for today. Third Sunday of Easter. This is the last time that our Gospel will narrate for us any of the appearances after the resurrection. So we leave the empty tomb fully and totally after this Sunday, and we move into more of the theological and practical and spiritual and powerful effects of the resurrection in the continuing lives of believers. And so today we finish with John's Gospel of both an abundant catch of fish, a miracle that happens despite everything that seems to stand in the way of it, and great reconciliation between Peter and Jesus. Again, very long gospel, a little bit longer than normal gospel today, but the apostles, we heard this during Easter week, the apostles are fishing, basically having gone back to life as normal, like I said, I think during Easter week, kind of not really feeling the impact of the resurrection in their lives, it seems, and they're fishing and catching nothing, and life is boring and dull and whatever it is, and then Jesus appears and tells them to go out into deeper water and to try fishing again, and they do so and catch an abundance of fish, and they recognize that it is Jesus who is directing them to do this. Jesus, who then prepares breakfast for them and again begins to feed them in those practical ways that Jesus does, and not necessarily with bread and wine this time, but with baked fish, again, so the symbol of that in the lives of early Christians and early believers. The gospel moves from that episode to then Peter and Jesus, Jesus basically asking Peter to tend to feed the lambs and sheep that Jesus will leave behind as he goes back to the Father. And Peter, and the whole context of that is Peter having to basically affirm that he does love Jesus 3 times to counteract the effects of the threefold denial. Peter gets indignant that Jesus keeps asking, "Do you love me?" And the reality is that Jesus wants to make sure that Peter knows what he is getting into, because love of Christ is not something that is ever passive, is not something that we can just basically take or leave. Love of Christ involves activity. Love of Christ involves challenge. Love of Christ involves daring, because it's not just love of Christ, it is love with and for and in one another. To be able to be people who can accomplish that and to be that kind of love in this world, again, causes the effect and transformation that resurrection brings about, to become even more solid, even more firm, even more powerful in our lives as believers. We are called to love in a unique, dramatic, wonderful, divine way, because love is that example of divinity, so easily done within our midst as human beings and accomplished by us as human beings. Resurrection allows for love to conquer again and again and again. And over these 50 days, we are reminded how the power of love creates all things new again and again, does not necessarily create new things, but makes over what is into a newness that allows for abundance and wonder to shine forth. A continued blessed Easter season, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord give you his peace.